Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and today we are going to do a game discussion, and we're going to do one of those game discussions I don't actually like doing. I like getting on here and talking to you about how much I love a game and how great a game is, and instead I'm going to get on here and talk to you about why I'm shelving a game, and that game is of course Final Fantasy Type-0 HD. Really enjoyed this when I first started playing it. And then as the game sort of dragged on, my enjoyment of it just kind of diminished bit by bit by bit. And you kind of saw that you were going to be doing the same things over and over again. And the storyline, it doesn't really draw you in, and it doesn't really keep you interested, at least for me. Some of you out there might think this is one of the best stories in video games. But for me, I'm just like, I have no idea who these people are, what they're doing. I have no idea what's going on. I don't care. And when you play an RPG and you get a storyline that you just say that about, it makes it really hard to continue playing because RPGs are so story-driven. So anyway, I'm going to shelve it for now. I think maybe this game is just not hitting me the right way right now. Maybe I'll come back to it somewhere down the road and have a completely different opinion of it. And of course, if I do, I will do a new video discussing my change of heart on the game, because sometimes people can have change of hearts on video games. They're just video games. But anyway, I'm still happy that I picked this up because I actually really enjoyed the Final Fantasy 15 demo. And I'm actually really hyped for a Final Fantasy again. And I think that might be part of the problem. I played the 15 demo and really just enjoyed the hell out of it. And then playing Type-0, I mean, there's no way around it. You're playing an old PSP game on the PlayStation 4. And even though you go into the mindset that you know exactly what you're playing, there still is kind of a bit of diminishing returns with that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and start talking about it. The storyline. I would really like to talk to you guys about the storyline, but I'm going to be honest with you. I have no fucking clue what's going on in this game. You play as one of the members of Class 0, which is a military school. What is it? The Arcadia? Something like that. See, this game throws so much techno-babble at you. Like, it makes the Tales series look like it's a fucking book written for a 5-year-old. You know, I have no clue. Absolutely no idea. I know that I'm a member of this Class 0, that's a part of this school, that's a part of this military organization for this empire, and they're fighting this 4-way war. And aside from that, you know, and it throws in the Ilse and, you know, that kind of stuff from Final Fantasy 13. Aside from that, I have absolutely no idea what's going on. And, you know, talking to some other people, the story is a simple story of war between these nations, but they throw so much, like, just batshit techno-babble, or I guess fantasy babble in this case. And the story seems to be told in such a choppy manner that I just start tuning out. I'm just like, fuck it, I don't care. Just let me kill something. And that's not what you want from an RPG. You never do you want to play, especially a JRPG, and just go, fuck it, I don't care about the story segments. I just want to get to the action. If you play your RPGs that way, I'm going to make the bold statement that you're playing it for the wrong reasons. Of course, gameplay is important in JRPGs, but these are games that are designed to tell you a narrative. As you know, not so much nowadays, because I mean, action games tell a narrative, and you know, we have visual novels now. But especially like back in the day, you know, when you played a side-scrolling action game, there was really no narrative there. I mean, and then you played like Final Fantasy VI, and there was this rich story with these rich characters. And I've played for about 20 hours, and not only do I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea who these characters are. There's 14 fucking characters in this game, and they're all just sort of, except for 2 of them, they're all just sort of blank slates. And I'm sure, you know, you're going to find out that there's some kind of scientific experiment going on to create these, you know, 14 characters, and that's the reason why there's such blank slates. But I mean, there's a problem with JRPGs when they throw so many characters in. I mean, people complain about Final Fantasy VI and all the characters in that, and the fucking hidden characters like Gogo and Umaro not being developed. People complain about that, even though these are hidden characters that you're just supposed to find. When you have so many characters in a game, you can't focus on developing those characters. And there's no difference, really, in Type-0's, you know, Class 0. I keep Ace as my main character because he just seems to be the best one to use, and then I just have, you know, faceless, you know, helpers with me that they have no distinction. I have no idea who these people are, and there's nothing about it that really draws me in. And that might seem petty. I don't know. That might seem frivolous to kind of judge a game on this, but if I'm playing an RPG that's telling me the story of a world and the characters, I want to know what the fuck is going on and who these people are and why I should care about them. And Type-0, I mean, I've played almost 20 hours into it, still hasn't done that. And that bothers me. That bothers me. It's one thing to have a mystery and kind of keep things, you know, moving forward so you kind of guess what's happening, but it's just like, I don't care. I don't. It's just like crystals, 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 and then, I mean, crystals are fine. I can deal with the crystals. I've been dealing with the crystals since fucking Final Fantasy 1. That's fine. I mean, some of this stuff is so techno-babbly that I can't even remember what the hell it's called because I just flush it. And that's a problem. I've noticed that's being a real problem with RPGs as of late. Like, they have to kind of reinvent the wheel on what to call things. And Tales is horrible about this. Tales, I mean, they can be referring to sort of the same thing in different games. Magic. It's just fucking magic. But every game has to have a different name for it, you know? And it's just like, just call it magic. Why? Why are you doing this? So anyway, I would love to sit here and talk to you about the storyline, but I just don't care. And the game does nothing to make me care. Now, that's a personal thing. It's personal for me. It's not hooking me in. It's not drawing me in. The world looks cool, and I like how the storyline starts off very dark and gritty, and it feels like a real war. I like that feeling. But once you get past that opening cinematic, it just feels like a normal Final Fantasy, kind of back to the goofiness that kind of Final Fantasy has every now and then. And, you know, with it being Final Fantasy and having a mature on the box for blood, drug references, and suggestive themes and violence, I expect those things to be in the storyline, not just the opening cinematic. It feels like this thing's got to mature just for that opening cinematic where you watch a chocobo bleed to death. That's amazing, you know? Final Fantasy's not really done anything like that before, not been that fucking brutal. And I was really expecting this to be like a really sort of brutal game, storyline-wise. And that would be a kind of a refreshing thing for Final Fantasy, because it's always kind of held back in that regard. And it still holds back. Once you get past the opening cinematic, it's like, it just feels like a side story Final Fantasy. And I guess I'm a bit disappointed in that. You know, of course, I could have done more research. And of course, I've only got to Chapter 5 in this game, so who knows? Maybe the thing, you know, turns into fucking World War II by the end of it, you know? I don't know. But for now, I'm shelving it. Because I just don't care about the storyline. And that's sad. I'm really like disappointed, not only in the game but in myself not being able to get into it. Gameplay wise, I actually enjoy this game when you're doing the missions, and it's a very action heavy RPG. Kind of feels Kingdom Hearts-esque. You're dodging around the screen. Ace, every character, all these 14 characters have different weapons and attacks, and Ace, the character I choose to use most of the time, throws playing cards, and so he's got a range attack. I really like that. I really like jumping around. You gain experience points, of course, by leveling up, and you can put these points, those points go towards your level. You also gain, every level you gain, AP points, and you can spend those AP points on new abilities to power up your people. With 14 characters, it feels a bit grindy, but really, once I got past that first spot, I realized I really didn't have to do much grinding, because the missions, you kind of level to where the missions are at, so you don't need to do a lot of grinding, which brings up a problem with the other part of the game. When you're not doing these missions and running around these locations and fighting, you do side quests, and this is a very side quest heavy game. And I kind of posted about this on the AGP page. What makes a good side quest? I want side quests. It seems like such a lost opportunity, because you have 14 characters that you need to develop. That's what these side quests should be doing, is developing these characters. And instead, you just go up and talk to somebody, and it could be just a random NPC, and they just talk about nonsense, and then at the end they give you like a high potion or an elixir or something like that. And there's the other things you can do, which are tasks, which you talk to the person, they give you a task, you go out and you say you have to slay 5 bombs. Okay, you do that, you come back, and they just give you an item. There's no storyline reason to do this. It's just to get items, because when you go to people who are selling things, they're selling very specific things. Like, one person will sell weapons, one person will sell, I guess, these gifts. And then there's one person in the classroom that will sell you potions and ethers and things like that. And it's just, I guess that's how you get your items. But the side quests just feel pointless to me, especially after games like Xenoblade, which not only build up your affinity of your characters to help them work better in battle, but sometimes had storyline progressions to it. And, like the Mass Effect, the side quests really kind of enrich those games. And it just feels like the side quests are just kind of tacked on in this game. I don't know. The other part of the gameplay is this sort of half-baked Persona school life type thing. And what I like about the Persona school life is interacting with these characters kind of enriches the world and the storyline. It just seems like Square Enix looked at this and was like, okay, we can do something like that. And instead of getting I don't know, this great, this great beer that is Persona, you get a Bud Light. And it doesn't, you just talk to people and they just give you an item. It doesn't make you stronger. It doesn't increase your stats. There's really no point to it. And the game kind of forces you to do this in a way, because it's on a time management system where if you talk to a person, it takes 2 hours. If you leave the school, it takes away 6 hours. So it gives you this incredible amount of time to do things. But as you're doing these side quests, you kind of realize there's really no point in doing them. Sometimes you'll come across a person with an exclamation above their head, and instead of giving you an item, they actually do a storyline part. And it's when it actually happens, you're so excited, because finally, maybe something will start making sense. And then it doesn't. It just keeps on going. God, I'm really sounding like I hate this game. I was having fun playing the missions, but man, now that I'm talking about it, maybe I just really don't like this game. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I was expecting from it. Maybe I guess I was expecting something... Experience the brutal tale of life and death in war. Aside from that opening cinematic, it's been pretty frivolous, to be honest with you. So I don't know what they're trying to sell here. There are battles in this game that I do really enjoy. I really enjoy the sorties, which basically plays kind of like an action real-time strategy game where you have to run around the world map. An RPG with a world map. You have to run around the world map and fight sort of enemy troops as they come towards your base and take over enemy bases and fight your way to the objective of the map. These are fun, but at the same time, they feel kind of half-baked. I remember playing like the Suikoden games, and you get to those like the war stages, and it just felt so epic. And that was a PlayStation 1 game. This is a PSP game, which again is a glorified PlayStation 1, but it's, you know, about 10 years on. Things should progress a little bit. I don't know. Why am I so angry? Why am I so disappointed with this game? I don't know. I don't know. I guess gameplay-wise, it's just not what I want. You know what it feels like? It feels like you played Kingdom Hearts, and you really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts. And, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 is getting ready to come out, and you're like, alright, I'm going to play Kingdom Hearts 2. And they announced this little Game Boy Advance game called Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. And you're like, oh, right, portable Kingdom Hearts. And you play it. And you realize instead of it being like the action RPG like you know and love, it's got this weird card mechanic in it. And I guess that's kind of what Type-0 kind of makes me think of. It kind of makes me think of Chain of Memories when I played it for the first time, and how disappointed I was with Chain of Memories that it wasn't a regular action Kingdom Hearts game, action RPG Kingdom Hearts game. It had that weird sort of card mechanic that I didn't like. God, I hate these kind of videos. I feel like I should just stop and just not do the video. Anyway, the graphics. This game's getting beat up all over the place for its graphics. I don't know what people were expecting. It's a PSP game put on the PS4 with updated HD visuals. They're not going to go back and reinvent the wheel here. They're going to update the visuals as best they can. And honestly, if this was on the Vita, I don't think anyone would bat an eye. I think people would accept it and just move on. But since it's on a console, PS4, I don't know why, you know, I guess it's easy to see why people are upset. You know, if it's on the PS4, you expect more. But if it's on the Vita, I think people will be fine. But that brings up an interesting point. You know, the demo for Final Fantasy 15 is a voucher. A voucher. I very seriously doubt that Type-0 took up the entire Blu-ray. They could have easily put the 15 demo on the Blu-ray, probably. Maybe. Yeah, because it was only 5 gigs, so they could have easily squeezed it on here. I'm sure that this is only using like 2 gigs of data on the PS4 disc. Put the damn demo on the disc. But yeah, I mean, some of the areas, the graphics are a bit muddy. You can definitely tell its origins as a PSP game. I think the character models look actually pretty good, though. They're a bit stiff in their animation, but the faces look good. Not what you would expect from a PS4, of course. But I'm not a huge graphics whore. I understand the origins of the game, but I can also understand why people are like... I can understand why people are upset that it's on the PS4. It really should have been on the Vita. It really should have been on the Vita. That would have made a lot more sense. Music-wise, I adore the music in this game. I think the music is the best part. Running around the school and having the prelude play in the background, it just takes me back to a simpler era. And the music itself feels like it's from an older era of Final Fantasy. Not just with the prelude, but with just the normal music that's in the game. Feels a lot like older Final Fantasy music. I don't think Uematsu did the music for this, but it really kind of evokes the feeling of those older games, and I really enjoy that. The voice acting, however, is atrocious. no way around it. It's so flat, so stilted. It feels like it's a PlayStation 2 era voiceover. It feels like they've just rounded up some people around the office and said, all right, we got to churn this out really quick because we're going to start losing money if we don't release this. And they just recorded it in a weekend and then put it on the disc and said, fine, it's good. One take, that's all we need. Done. The voice acting is atrocious. No way around it. I think this has the original Japanese voice of... now this says 35 gig minimum for the HD, for the hard drive. There's no way that 2 UMDs... Well, maybe. 2 UMDs HDified. That might be 35. Still, this is a 50 gig disc. They could have fit the... or was it 25? Or Blu-rays 25 or 50? I thought they were 50. Doesn't matter. Fuck it. Who cares? Oh, these videos. These videos. I really don't like talking about games that I'm not enjoying. And it's unfortunate that I don't enjoy this as much as I probably should, because there's a lot of cool things about it. It really does kind of feel like when you look at the world and everything they throw in, from the chocobos to the Moogles to the way that certain armies look, it looks like they're just trying to take the history of Final Fantasy and kind of put it all together into one game. And you'll see like references to certain characters and certain events. Not events, but you know, the look of certain things in other Final Fantasy games. And it is kind of cool. Like one army's Ilse looks like a judge from Final Fantasy 12 and things like that. But at the end of the day, I just want to play something else. I've played this for 20 hours. The storyline's not hooking me. The combat is fun, but you have to jump through so many hoops to get through it or get to it that I don't know. I think I would have been much happier with this game if I just played the PSP version that I have translated. Is that weird? Does that make sense? Like, since I bought the PlayStation 4 version, I guess I was expecting a quote-unquote better game. And if I would have played the PSP version, I would have been like, oh, it's a PSP game. Fine. But since I played it on the PS4, something about my brain warped and said, this should be something different than what it actually is. And what it is, I'm not really enjoying right now. So I'm going to shelve it. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Type-0, not really enjoying it. I enjoy parts of it, but you have to get through like this really lame, trying to rip off Persona's school day type thing. And it's just, if I want to play that, I'll just go play Persona. I don't know what else to say. Anyway, that is it. This is just a rambling, fucking terrible video. But I don't like doing videos about games that I'm not having fun with. But at the same time, I feel like I should, because honestly, at this point in time, this is my honest opinion of this game. Cue to me a year from now playing it again and be like, oh my god, Final Fantasy Type-0 is the best game ever made. Probably won't be. It won't be that, but you know. Set and setting. It's like drugs. It's all about your set and setting, and my set and setting for this game is off. So, I'm going to stop. Okay. Go on to something else, and I'll probably regret my decision. But, we'll see. Okay. That is it for this. I'm done talking about this, because I don't know what else to say. Some of you out there will probably really like it. For me, it's not catching me. It's not catching me. If you like it, I'm not like downgrading your opinion or saying you're an idiot for liking a game that I don't like. If you like it and you have a great time with it, fantastic. I'm happy for you. But for me, not so much. I really want people to enjoy their games, and whatever that is. If you enjoy, you know, sitting on the couch, deathmatching Call of Duty all day long, do whatever you want, man. That's fine. But for me, not happy with this one. Not happy with this one today. We'll see how I feel when I put it back in sometime down the road. Anyway, that is it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.